Hello, I'm the Infinity Theorist, quick spin-off enthusiast, and spoilers for What If, episodes 1 through 6. Okay, so What If episode 6 was, it wasn't my favorite episode. I did enjoy it, but it was definitely not my favorite episode, but it's still good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, this is my review and analysis of What If episode 6, and that was a terrible intro. Okay, let's start with the notes I took on the episode. So, at the beginning, the whole concept is that what if something happened in the beginning that changed the beginning of a hero, and we get the whole Iron Man 1 scene, and Killmonger shows up, which is the one step that was changed. Killmonger shows up, saves Tony from his own bomb, and the 10 rings are this episode came out before Shang-Chi, and so that was actually kind of a cool thing, because they haven't mentioned the 10 rings in the MCU at all since 2014, and so now in 2021, and I guess what year does Iron Man take place? It's 2008 or 2010, right? I think canonically it's 2010, but it could also be 2008, I don't know. But yeah, the 10 rings exist. And yeah, they're mentioning those 10 rings. Obviously, that's good because the 10 rings are in Shang-Chi. And yeah, that's the thing. And then the Watcher tells us that heroes are not born; they're forged, shaped in battle, and defined by sacrifice. And of course, it shows us the scenes Iron Man is in. Especially from the Avengers. It also shows us the Endgame scene where Tony snaps. So that's great. Yeah, and in this universe, the Age of Iron Man does not exist. This is great. So a hero, while the man was saved, a hero was lost, and a villain was given a new chance. Ooh, ominous. And Stark makes jokes. Killmonger gets Happy's promotion, and Happy doesn't seem happy about it. That was an unintentional pun, I think. Yeah. Oh, Christine Everhart's there. She was the reporter that was in Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. Obadiah Stane is revealed immediately. Because obviously Obadiah put in the order to kill Tony Stark, and Killmonger knows that, and so he says that. He just tells everyone. Yeah, that's it. Also they mentioned Google, and I don't know. Was Google popular in 2008 and 2010? Because I feel like it's pretty recent. I know it came out in the 90s, but was Google popular in 08 and 10? I don't know. Okay, anyway. So Killmonger gets a COO, Obadiah's job. That's interesting. Then Tony says that they're gonna need a killer, and that's something. Also, the Lamborghini was 3D printed. That's pretty cool. 3D printing is really cool. Also, okay, so then we get the quote, "Peace means having a bigger stick than the other guy," which is pretty interesting. And it's just a really interesting quote that they went for there. And it fits the character. And I'm not really sure how it fits the... Well, no, I know how it fits the character, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. Then we get and then there is and then they start building. Tony says he wishes that no one had to fire the weapons at all, and so that's interesting. And then Killmonger suggests drone soldiers that would fire for everyone, and that's an idea. He called it Project Liberator, and apparently he's an MIT alumni, so that's pretty cool. Then we get the now iconic line, what I like anime, and so that's kind of funny because now Killmonger's confirmed to like anime, and I'm pretty sure there were a lot of theories about that on the internet. Yes, people theorize about what fictional characters watch in their free time on the internet, and that's something that exists. But yeah, no, he's confirmed to have liked anime. That's interesting. It's pretty cool, I guess. And yeah, and then we get the line, maybe we could miniaturize the arc reactor. No, that's dumb, and I like that because obviously miniaturizing the arc reactor is in the MCU timeline. The main MCU timeline is what happened. Is what Tony did to save himself in the cave, and it's also what powers the Iron Man suit, and so it's just kind of funny. And then Killmonger suggests a vibranium power source. And that's something. And they mention Ulysses Claw, and then they're gonna send Rhodey. And yeah. And then when they do send Rhodey, there's a lot of vibranium. And then T'Challa comes out. Seemingly out of nowhere, but I guess it makes sense for this episode because Killmonger's there. And yeah. It's a sonic taser. That's cool. But, I mean, also, that happened. Rhodey dies pretty quickly. Well, Rhodey dies right there, which is interesting. He's like the only sane one in the MCU. Then Shuri comes out, and how young is Shuri? How much younger is Shuri than T'Challa? Because like in this episode, they seem to have like a very big age difference, and I don't know exactly what that age difference is. And then later, they go back to Stark Tower, not Stark Tower, Stark's mansion, right? And, they toast to killers again, and then Killmonger stabs Tony, and, then tells him that the difference between, him and Tony is that Tony can't see the difference between him and Killmonger. You know what I mean. You remember the scene. And yeah. And then just like that, another Tony Stark is dead. That's great. That makes Marvel what? Like 3 for 3? Endgame? Episode 3 of What If? Episode 6 of What If? Oh no, 4 for 4. Episode 5 of What If? Yeah. That's something. Tony Stark just dies in every universe now. Anyway, General Ross shows up. So that's great. Also, and he also says that they invented... No one ever called him funny. And that Killmonger's invented 21st century or Killmonger and Tony have invented 21st century warfare. So that happened. And yeah. And then when Killmonger gets to, Wakanda, he brings Claw, right? He brings a dead Claw, and, he's welcomed back to Wakanda, and because he was being a trickster, and yeah. At one point, Okoye says that, the drones are built by Americans, so they'll be home in time for lunch. And she is just the queen of insulting America in this series, right? Because in episode 5, we had that whole line about American reality shows being their horror movies. And it's great. And then, battle starts, I guess. But then immediately the drones go dark. And yeah. And then... yeah. Then Killmonger turns them on from like where he was, and he blames Tony Stark for building the backup, even though of course it was him. It was him who built the backup thing. And yeah, he says that Tony was a villain, which is actually what a lot of fans would say. I wouldn't say that. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, there's a lot of debate around it. But yeah. Okay, and then they end up fighting robots. At some points, Killmonger says Wakanda forever, and it's just not a good thing. Then there's a Fourth T'Challa moment a few times. That's good. And yeah, at the end of the episode, Killmonger becomes Black Panther. That's great. And they go back to America, and there's an only you can whatever sign, and it's only you can avenge Tony Stark, and that's kind of funny. And they plan to release the Jericho missile in Wakanda, so that's something. But yeah, at the end of the episode, the Watcher says, heroes are never gone, they live forever, as do the ones they inspire to carry on the fight. And yeah, I didn't have many notes on this episode because, again, it wasn't my favorite episode. It wasn't, well, I mean, most of them weren't my favorite episode. That's what the concept of favorite is. But it wasn't like, okay, it wasn't one of my favorite episodes, and it's just like a hard episode to take notes on, basically. But yeah, that's why this video is a lot shorter than the other ones. But yeah, I really did enjoy this episode. It was good. It was really good. I'll go ahead and start with the title review, which is, What If Killmonger Saved Tony Stark, I believe. And that's just a very simple title, straight to the point. I'll go ahead and give it a 92 out of 100. And the episode, again, it wasn't my favorite, and I think I'll go ahead and give it maybe an 89 out of 100. Again, it wasn't my favorite, but I did still enjoy it, so I'll go ahead and say it's, that's 89 out of 100. The average for that would be, 90.5 out of 100, which is a pretty good score, and yeah, that's it. You can watch another video in the top left, top right, bottom left corner of the screen. Before you do that, click the bottom right corner of the screen to subscribe, so you can, is it bottom left or bottom right? You know what I mean. Click the subscribe button so you can subscribe. But yeah, that's everything I have for you today. Goodbye.